Welcome to the show. It is Talk Time, episode number 2. We are back. We're live. We're in the studio. It's great. I think the first episode is now out there, and 4 people have watched it so far, which is
that was you.
Sorry,
that was me. That was
and it was the 4th.
Thank you to whoever it was that watched this show.
Eve's watched it. Eve's watched it.
I don't think even Eve's watched it.
No,
Eve's watched it.
Somebody's watched it. One person's watched it.
But we're a thing. We're on YouTube.
We are
now
it's real.
YouTubers.
We are. It's real. Oh, hang on. I should sit upright for that. There you are. Look at me, Mom. I'm a YouTuber. Yeah.
Synchronised T thingy there.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Where did my diet Coke go? Have I lost my juice?
I think that's last week's Pete.
I've lost. I don't think there's any there.
I think it's definitely last week's.
I've misplaced it.
Did we get any feedback? Did we get any topics or subjects that people wanted us to talk about?
No.
So who came up with the idea of your first bike and things you wished you knew before you started riding?
That would be me.
That
Oh,
would
right,
be
you just picked that out.
So basically, we've done our first episode and we understand that we haven't had many people viewing it, but that's fine. At the start of our YouTube career, we kind of expected that, and hopefully, when the time actually someone is watching this, there's thousands of views. But just know, while we're sitting here right now, we're talking to nobody. So anyway, we're going to do episode 2. We're going to carry on with this until such times we get ourselves a little following. But yeah, so our second episode, as Nick rightly says, is going to be based around the theme of what things did we wish we knew when we started motorcycling. A varying degree of ages here, which is probably quite good and gives some diverse answers. So will we just flap right into it, or should we maybe talk about the bike build first?
Oh, the bike build.
How's the bike build coming?
So it should be on screen now. It's taken to the bits.
Yeah. So there
Fire
we go.
Up. So we removed all the parts. We've went over to Steelworks. We stripped the bike. Basically nothing.
So this is the BMW R9T.
Yes.
Yes.
Stripped it all back.
9RT.
Aye, 9RT if your name's Phil. Never says the name of the bike correctly.
No, deliberately, just to annoy these guys. So we stripped it all off. We've got bits getting painted. We've got the handlebars getting painted, the yokes getting painted. We've removed the cowl on the front end and done a custom.
You're really making it sound exciting.
Boom.
Where is it now? Where is it now? Where is it?
Well,
Where is
Muddy
it? I haven't
Beach
seen
Customs have got the tank.
Who?
Muddy Beach Customs.
Right, okay. Where are they?
In Bowness and
Nice, okay.
Livingston.
Right.
They have
Are
got
they
the
down
tank.
on,
We've picked the colour.
Are they down on the muddy beach?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
So they're painting the bits.
They're painting it for us. And you've basically chosen a bunch of stuff that we're going to use to customise the bike and make it look a lot better than it did at the start, because it looked like absolute junk at the start. Nick will still to this day say that it looks fantastic. He defends it, but
Saying nothing.
He's a
Fed
BMW
up
loyalist.
arguing with a pair of
If
you
you cut
about
Nick
taste.
open, there would just be BMW logo all the way through him.
Well, at least I'm not getting a tank coloured the same colour as my pants. That's all I'm saying.
Cool. Wow. So you'll get to see.
Yeah, well, we've ordered a lot of parts. We've ordered a side-mounted reg plate.
Nice.
We've got an exhaust coming for it.
Nice. Full system end can.
We've got a full system coming for it, so it's got the billet ends that lie underneath the bike. We need to get the bike mapped as well, obviously, because we're putting cane ends on it, make it a bit raspier.
Right.
We're colour coding it all satin black, so the handlebars, yokes, top of the yokes.
I think it's going to look freaking awesome.
It's going to look awesome, yeah.
I'm excited.
Some pictures on screen just now,
You're
guys.
neutral, but I'm excited. It sounds like you're doing a really good
you're
job
not.
here. I'm excited. Do I get to ride it?
Yes,
yeah. Why not?
Yeah,
Get a review in. I'm getting a review.
let's do it. Yeah.
And of course, last but not least, the seat is with Tom Hurley.
Yay!
It's only been about half the year. But he's got it. We've picked a colour. We're going to go ahead with that and hopefully get that back to you
Is
guys.
it similar to this or darker?
It's darker. It's like a dark chestnut.
Okay, so more.
Yeah, something like this, yeah. Dark chestnut. And we're getting integrated indicator kit on it. which is going to look frickin' awesome.
That's not strictly true, because actually there's no back left to Pete's chair, and if you turn the cushion over, there's no L. Because I know where you've got the fabric to make the rest of the seat from.
It's the old B&M chairs here, that's what it is.
There's nothing left on the back of it.
£200 special.
There's a big cutout, seat-sized, on the back of that chair.
20 quid more like for B&M.
20 quid is £200 on Wayfair.
I mean, I'm comfortable in my IKEA chair.
This is solid. This holds me.
And if IKEA want to give us anything else, fire on.
So that's the update on the BMW R9T that Nick is, that Phil is customising. So keep your eyes peeled on the weekly update for that one. It will eventually make its way onto the site, and you will get to see it in all its glory. We'll make numerous videos on it. But it's an absolutely awesome bit of kit to start with, and we're making it even better. So keep your eyes peeled for that one. So anyway, on to the main topic, which is, what do you wish you knew before you started motorcycling? So you're the oldest. So let's start with you. What does Mr. Nikolai?
Surely there should be a bit of deference and respect towards the.
There is. That's why I'm letting
more
you go
established
first.
generation.
That's why I'm letting you
Was
go
it
first.
different in the 40s, Nick?
I don't know, Phil. I have to say, I don't know.
Because he was born in the 50s.
All right, okay.
Maybe. That's all right. It's so thrilling you're out here.
Oh my God, he stole the chair!
You know,
Shift yourself over there,
Do
son.
you feel the difference in
I
comfort
could feel
for
the
the
power.
B&M seat?
I could feel the power.
Yeah.
Suddenly, like some kind of power went coursing through me. I wish I had known how much this would all cost.
Yeah.
It's frickin' expensive.
How much
can
have
agree
you
with that.
spent in your lifetime, however short it is, 20-year-old, on motorcycles?
Compliments are coming now.
How much have you spent?
A lot of money.
Tens of thousands? Hundreds
I
of
couldn't even
thousands?
I'm
begin to
definitely not in the
guess.
hundreds.
I couldn't even begin to guess.
How many bikes have you had, Phil?
15 bikes?
Oh, cha, Pete.
I have had...
Not counting.
Yeah, not counting giveaway guys, I've had
it's just
4.
personal. Oh, okay. Oh.
I have had a relatively bland and relatively unexciting and relatively laid back 8 or 10 years of motorcycle riding so far.
Right.
Did you know ride a real fast, really big bike? Was that a Honda 500X?
That wasn't a first bike.
He's an
surely.
arsehole.
Hang
It
on,
was not a 500.
we're on first bikes. It couldn't have been the first bike. What was your first bike?
My first bike. Well, my first bike. That leads me on to my question.
That's
Right.
what I was going to say.
My thing that I would like to know before I start motorcycling was not to buy a piece of shit.
Yes.
Because I started with. Now you probably have never heard of this brand, and I don't even know if they still exist. But it was called a Ryu RS125. And I bought it from a local bike shop. I went in and I just bought it because it looked cool.
Yeah.
I bought it because I was like, if I buy that, I'm a biker. I'll be like one of those guys that you see.
Did it look like a proper bike?
I mean, it did at the time to me.
Yeah.
When I look back at
They're
it, no.
they're so good at that. The Chinese brands, they make, I mean, even an RC.
This was Spanish.
Wow.
Wasn't even Chinese.
What, did they get built in China?
No, I think it was. I don't actually know.
They're just so good at it. I mean, even the CF Moto brand, some of the bikes are just, they look like a bloody R1, but they're a 125.
No, this thing was
They're
junk.
quite good at that, but they are junk. If you leave them outside for one winter, gone.
It wasn't even so much that. It didn't live outside. It lived a good life.
Yeah.
But it was just absolute junk. First time I rode it. Open these. First time I rode it, it was just so rubbish on the road, so skittery, so I felt like I was going to come off it every
There you go.
second. I was. Thank you.
Do we know what these are?
These are Mr. Kipling's mini Battenberg cakes, and
Wow.
these are this week's.
You've pushed the boat right out this week.
Well,
What
it
the
has.
hell?
It has.
This is this week's
It smells like marzipan.
cake. It is. You've not had.
Phil?
He's not had a Battenberg
all right,
cake.
Phil?
Phil, come on, Phil.
You've not
Come on,
ever had a
Phil.
Battenberg cake.
No,
I haven't, to be honest.
it smells like marzipan. All
It
right.
is marzipan. Loads of crunching down the mic. Wow.
Is this really what our channel's about? This is good.
Right, back to your bike.
Yes,
Tell us.
the Rayu.
Chinese shit.
The Rayu 125. It was Spanish.
Oh, you've changed the pronunciation.
Rayu.
I thought it was Ryu.
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 No, they actually-
It's like R-E-I-J-U.
Never heard
They
of it in my
actually
life.
do
Never
off-road
heard of
bikes. No, they do off-road
Do they?
bikes. Yeah, I'm sure
Are
they
they
do an
shit?
enduro bike. I'll get back to you on that, guys, because I'll
They'll
look
be
at
shit.
that.
Well, anyway, this was my first bike, and I wish I'd known not to buy something like that and to buy a reputable brand. Basically, as most 125s do, it got nicked, and it got recovered. And it spent a lot of time at the motorbike shop because they couldn't source parts for it. I think it genuinely sat for about 6 months, and I was phoning them week in, week out. Is those bits in yet? And the guy's just like, "Come on, mate, we'll phone you when they're ready." And it took months and months and months, and it cost an absolute arm and a leg. And I think it only needed a couple of mirrors, like a side fairing or something as well, and that was it.
How much was the bike, Pete?
The bike was, I think, 3,300, and that was in 2009, 2010.
I mean, that's
2010, I think.
It's quite
Yeah,
oh
yeah, it was top of the
bike.
it was top of the 125 range at the time.
So did you have access to resources that we've got now, like YouTube? Did you read bike mags, or was this
No,
just
I did
this
nothing.
just an emotional purchase, going in blind? I like the look of that, and I want
Impulse.
it. Impulse.
Oh, I've been looking for a bike
yeah.
for a while,
Right.
but yeah, I had no real guidance on what to buy or not to buy.
So is this
And if I did, I ignored it because I was an arsehole then.
Sorry. What? Oh no, sorry.
Was this straight after CBT? So
It's all fine.
CBT.
Straight after CBT. Actually, no, I bought it before the CBT. I got free CBT with my bike.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, and just it was just a piece of junk. It was literally a piece of junk. So much so that when I got my next bike, which I think took me about a year and a half, which was a Honda CB500X.
Great bike.
Yeah, it
Real
was
good bike for
genuinely
touring.
a fantastic bike.
They got a good write-up.
I couldn't believe how awesome it was to ride. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, this doesn't feel like I'm going to fall off every 2 seconds. So I wish I'd known. And not only that, I literally went into the bike shop, spent £1,000 on a jacket, on gloves,
As
on
you
a
do.
back
As
protector
you
for
do.
my 125, on my
As you
jeans,
do.
on my
Which is
big
cheap
boots.
in this day and age.
Oh yeah,
Which
like,
is probably cheap, guys, for what
I
you...
thought I was hurting paying that. Like
Yeah.
everyone was telling me you need to spend good money, and I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck it, I just want to ride my bike.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did that, and don't have any of that gear anymore. It looked ridiculous. So I had no real guidance. So that's for me what I wish I knew and could do better next time round.
So are you saying don't buy on impulse? Are you saying do research? Are you saying
Some
stay,
of the best
stay
things I've
away
bought
from
have been on impulse
You
in my
see,
life.
that's what I was worried
The
about.
biggest
I didn't know about
problem.
that as advice.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's advice.
Impulse buys are pleasing.
Yes. Oh, I
Yeah.
totally
Well,
agree.
it's not that. They don't tell you in the showroom, guys. When you put it in the garage, they actually multiply without you even knowing. And sometimes you've got 1 and 2 bikes.
Phil,
I don't know if you've ever had to,
Phil,
but
sounds
I've
like you've got
quite a
Phil, sounds like
collection.
you've got a story there.
I've got a few stories. Well, my first bike...
Come on, did you not like your Battenberg cake?
You've
Yes, I
only
do.
you've only taken
Don't
a
emphasise it.
You've only taken a bite out
One
of that
bite.
Battenberg.
Did you not enjoy
I'm not a
that?
fan of the marzipan. It's too...
Mr. Kipling's?
Sorry, Mr. Kipling.
It's
Is
a
it-
no
is
for
it-
me.
Is it a no?
It's a no
It
for
was
me.
all right.
Just all right. Well, I'm giving it an absolute yes. So it's a 1 out of 3.
Absolute
I
shit.
would not say it's an exceedingly good cake.
No.
It's a 1 out of 3.
It's a 1 out of 3. It's a
Fair
1 out of
enough,
3.
there we go.
Next week we
If you
definitely
think
have to do
different,
better.
whack it in the comments.
No, because we still will change them.
We also don't have anyone to
We're
comment.
going to
do
change
that.
them.
It's going to be a new weekly. Anyway, sorry, carry on.
What if the one other person that's watching this out of the 4, except for the 3 of us, is in
Frickin'
fact...
loves Battenberg. Or
No,
it is
what if
Mr.
it's
Kipling?
Mr. Kipling? Man, we've just basically...
lost our
we've lost
entire
our entire
viewership.
audience.
You're not
Jesus.
getting anything.
Right.
Unless it's a year's supply of Battenberg cakes, I'll happily eat that.
Go on, Phil.
Don't
What
give
do
them
you,
his
what do
fat
you
enough.
wish you knew before you started riding?
There's a multitude of things before I
Right.
started riding. Again, I didn't have any sort of guidance. I grew up riding motocross. My father paid for it all, off-roading. And when I finally hit, the road scene, I was riding without a licence, stuff like that. I finally got my licence in 2016. And my first bike was a K4 Suzuki GSXR 600.
Right.
Which is quite a big bike. Now,
Yeah.
knowing
Yeah,
what
yeah,
I know now,
yeah.
back then, I should never have done that. But I should have started with a smaller bike, learned how to ride it, learned the machine, learned the clutch, learned the tyres instead of, making so many mistakes and starting off at the deep end. And I can pedal a bike, I can ride a bike. I've had many track days, racing, stuff like that. But
So you went in too deep, too fast.
went in a bit deep too fast, and then the other thing I wish I'd known as well is, just while I'm on the rampage, is group riding. The pressure it is on other members of the group when you're riding, and it can become dangerous because people are riding, out with their means, and they don't know their machine, their bike correctly. So it can be very dangerous.
I agree with that, because I'm more than happy to say I'm definitely the least confident rider here. If you added up all my bike miles, it'd probably be like 3,000 or 4,000. It isn't a lot. And I don't have the confidence, and I have been out with rides on other people, and you're watching them just thinking, no, I cannot do that. But you want to do it. You want to keep up. You don't want to be the one that's slouching at the back.
Let's be honest.
So you feel that pressure to push on.
Well, a lot of people ride bikes. I started off with a 600. Some of my mates started off with 600s, and then suddenly within 6 weeks, they've got 1,000. And you're like, Jesus. But they want to go fast. But, anybody can pull a throttle in a straight line and do 3 figures. Let's be honest. But, does that make them a good rider?
Yeah,
in my opinion, it doesn't.
I think I know enough to know that. Yeah, you need.
And
to
a lot of these guys who
they're
no longer with us that I've rode with for a lot of years. They've passed away because they've got a big bike, they've made mistakes, and it's so easy. It takes seconds. So the group riding thing is something that I wish I'd known.
So you would go into that with a bit of
different perspective in this day and age when I'm a bit older,
and with a bit of caution maybe rather than excitement. And
it's easy to get carried away, and the top 5 riders, you're selling that, you're in big group rides, the top riders, 5, 6 guys up there, and it puts pressure on the back of the group. People are trying to catch up, they're making mistakes. You get to the next stop and you're like, God, where's such and such, and they've crashed.
Do you know what? I think it's true, but like anything, there's a certain progression, and to some extent, in defence of group riding, it's all right being the guy at the back because you're in a group of people, hopefully, that understand and are there to nurture you. And some of the best people I've ever followed actually gave me the confidence to go into a corner. So instead of me having to read the road and not know what's around the corner, so I'm coming on the brakes coming up to a corner, which you don't really want to do to keep the bike balanced. I'm seeing the guy ahead of me just go in, no brake lights, no nothing, and I know they're on a smaller bike. I know I've got a better bike, so sometimes you've just got to bite the bullet and follow them in, and then the bike goes around, and you sort of learn what your bike's capable of by getting involved with other people, by watching people, by following them, by learning. So I think
if you're with a good group,
right.
I totally agree with that. But I have rode with a lot of arseholes, and I'm
straight in there.
They are
a lot of arseholes
because they are fast,
right,
and they're quick riders.
You mean just
but it's
out of the box?
on the side of a £5 note. They're very lucky,
right.
And if you're behind them and you're trusting to get the knowledge off them, and you're following them into corners, and riding, Scottish roads, you can get tunnel vision, and you can ride in there. And if they make a mistake, it transpires onto yourself.
And see, one of my confidence is always low when I'm out on the bike, and a lot of it is just stupidly in my head. If the road's wet and I'm seeing the white line and it's super shiny and it's just been repainted, I'm like, nope, I just don't want to push myself that bit more because I feel like I'm just valuing myself too much. As much as it's exciting, I'm saying going, nope, not aimed for me, and I think it just needs way more time on the road to really build up that confidence.
I mean, let's be honest, it doesn't matter how much experience you've got. If you hit a white line or a painted surface on a motorcycle, you're going to go off. It doesn't matter how confident you are, it will go. Because rubber and paint, when it's wet,
they're so
slippery. It's simple as that.
It's crazy.
Gravity's never going to do anything for that. No. So you've got to be careful of that. So it is good to always throw caution to the wind when it's wet, unless you've got a set of track tyres on and you're on the track. You've got them warmed up correctly.
I get the feeling that you like gunning it.
I do like speed. I'm a speed freak. I like speed. But I've learned since I've started riding, slow and steady is good as well. I like an upright bike.
You did not sound like you did not
I nearly had it.
Right. No, basically what's happened is he's got old and he knows that's how he should be feeling.
Right.
But it's really not. Inside, I've seen your helmet. Your helmet's a flipping Joker helmet.
It's actually not.
Is it?
It's
whatever it is.
Ice Age.
Right, okay, sorry.
But it's Monsters Inc.
Monsters Inc.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I meant? It's a daft helmet.
It is a daft helmet.
I
actually bought that for riding
60 on a big adventure bike.
I bought that for the photographs when I was riding over at the TT.
Right, okay.
Because there's so many photographs out there, and I took the helmet over, so it was
you could spot yourself.
Yeah.
Right, okay. So there is probably a really good sum up of what we all think that we wish we had known when we started riding.
It's difficult though, isn't it? Because you can sit here and you can look back and reflect and say, oh, I would say this. I don't think I've got any advice for anyone because I don't think I'm in a position to give advice. I think I've been very lucky. I think the people I know that are still here, some of them have gone through bad luck, not fast riding, not even necessarily on a motorcycle.
Definitely.
I think you've got to, in order to get into this sort of field at all, motorcycling, you have to have some kind of a passion inside you and trust that even through those mistakes that you make, you will get to where you need to go. And your shit bike is now a lasting memory. You're smiling. You've actually got like a wee bit of a golden nostalgia about the Ryu 125 and your $4,500 expedition out of a very happy motorcycle dealer.
I think he was the only one that was happy out of that whole situation. And I remember your name.
I know where you live. Oh dear. Well, I inherited a CBX 550 from my very much of the time girlfriend. So she taught me to ride. I didn't have any experience. I was working in a nightclub, Hollywood's nightclub in Ipswich. I'm sorry, I can cringe even saying it. Hollywood's nightclub. So I was the bar guy in the private bar. I was like a bit of kudos there. We bar through the back where the VIPs came. It was a Monday. And
in those days, was VIPs just the people who were a joiner and had got their wages on a Friday night? Is that the same
VIP was anyone that was prepared to put a bottle of champagne on a credit card.
Aye.
So as long as you had a credit card and you were going to order champagne in a nightclub, straight through into the VIP lounge.
Still the same arseholes. Glad we've confirmed that.
So I was emptying all the bottles out the back of the car park and this bike turned up and I wasn't a biker, I knew nothing about bikes, and the long black suede boots, and I thought, oh, okay, I'm paying attention here. And this girl got off, CBX 550. I didn't know at the time. It was just a motorbike. Off with the helmet, all the blonde hair flicked around the place.
Like a movie.
Sounds like a movie. To be honest, I feel like I was there right now.
It totally felt like I was in a movie, and I was smitten. And she just walked past me, didn't even really pay me much attention. I was the guy emptying glass bottles, and I was.
She knew you were watching.
Oh man!
And it was from that point forward.
She knew the world was watching.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it was from that point forward that Nick was pussy whipped.
Do you know, it's funny you should say that because it actually was. I was determined to go out with her, and she said to me, if you can't ride a motorcycle, I'm not going out with you. So she took me to an airfield, an old airfield down in Ipswich. It was like reverse Top Gun. She was on the back, other than me, giving me the controls, and I was riding this CBX 550.
That sounds absolutely
They're
priceless.
all in here. I can tell you, there's a lot of pictures. And she taught me to ride her CBX 550. And that was just the way it went.
So
and then I
hooked right away, Nick? Hooked?
I was
on
hooked.
the bike or
I was hooked right away because of her, definitely.
Yeah.
I didn't do a license or anything. I never even thought about stuff like that. And then when she went away to China doing some sort of Silk Road thing, she left her bike with me and said, will you look after the bike? So I just rode it. I just thought, well, I can ride it.
Yeah.
I know how to ride it. It's her bike. I know it belongs to.
So no license or
Didn't have a
nothing?
license. I didn't have insurance. I didn't even know if it was
Same
road
as
tax.
myself.
I had no idea. I never even thought about it.
Shameful.
No, it's just
At least
one of
that
those.
did it legal.
It's one of those mistakes you make. I just didn't know. It was innocent.
Well, what do you mean?
No,
hold on a
you
minute.
know, don't
Hold
give us
on
that.
a minute.
It was totally innocent.
didn't. Oh, sorry, officer.
Officer.
I didn't know that I needed insurance.
That's what I said. Lucky.
And
Lucky. Nobody. It never happened. Never happened. And I'm glad to say, motorcycling for me has always been a very emotionally charged thing now.
yeah, sounds like
same.
it.
Julie Kidd, Abe, you were talking about Abe, Julie Kidd, if you're still out there, thank you very much
Is
indeed.
this the blonde?
This is the blonde.
Okay.
Yeah.
Please send us photographs of any.
Just behave
anyone wants to
yourself.
drag her down.
Just behave yourselves.
Was she older than you at the time? or-
She was older than me, yes.
Okay.
It was all of the stereotypes.
sounds
It was
fantastic.
all of the
Sounds like a lot of
stereotypes.
riding you done.
I was
Sorry.
Okay, so bring that one. back. It sounds like absolutely some fantastic stories
I'm
there.
actually blushing slightly, I have
No
to say.
wonder.
Yeah.
No wonder.
Honda 500, the 550.
CBX 550.
I feel like
like
we should recreate it for him one day.
That's my.
For his 60th birthday or
I'm
something.
going to try and source this bike. I'm going to try and source this bike.
Can you source the blonde too?
You have to get Julie Ked as well to make the whole
We'll get one,
experience
don't worry.
totally authentic.
I'll put that in my list.
Yep, okay.
Yep, we'll look for that bike.
So yes.
I'll tell you what, I didn't realise that Talk Time was going to chuck up all sorts of stuff that we were not
Oh,
prepared for.
stuff
Is this,
you will
is this
never
why it's
imagine.
not scripted?
This is exactly why it's not
Is this out
scripted.
there forever?
This is out there absolutely
That's it.
forever, and if Julie ever happens to watch it, can I have a second
Yeah,
cake?
yeah,
that-
do,
is that
because
your
nobody else
second
wants
bit?
That
one.
is my second cake.
Absolutely.
No, no,
Please someone take over while I munch this cake.
Can we watch?
I don't want to watch.
Can we just sit and watch you eat
fantastic.
The other
Battenberg?
thing is, when starting off biking, is you buy. I mean, if I was to go out and kit myself out now
Yep.
with motorbike gear,
Yep.
I would probably no less than £3,000.
What?
I mean, by the time you buy textile, Rucker
I'll
textiles.
tell you, everywhere around Scotland, retailers are taking a
Yeah,
picture
well,
of you up on behind the counter. If this guy comes in, make sure he doesn't go out without spending £3,000.
£3,000. I mean, one of my
Hold on a minute.
Hold on a second.
one of my leather suits is bloody £2,000
Hold
on.
on a minute, because
Yeah.
this is you're getting slagged from the man who just went and spent an absolute fortune
Yeah.
on Rucker bike gear
For the reviews.
for his reviews. He sent me a text, and he's like, I need a helmet as well. All right, cool. Just get yourself in.
Did I send you the text with that
100 quid or
tone?
something.
Did I have that
whatever.
helmet?
Was it in that
He
voice?
comes out with a carbon fibre, freaking all singing, all dancing, like something out of Top Gun.
Safety first.
You know,
Well, can you not understand? That's where my motorcycling...
What price would you put on safety gear? Riding gear, what would you
well, I know what price you
I
put on
think-
it.
I think you're still limping, are you not? You're still
still
limping.
limping
You're still
from it.
limping from it.
You said you wanted to present to the general public a professional...
No, I said I didn't care about your safety.
I must have heard something altogether, because what I heard you say was go and kit yourself out in quality Rucker and a good Scorpion helmet, and we can do bike reviews. That's all
Yeah,
I heard.
that's exactly what we
That's
said.
what I heard.
I mean, I was the same as you. First bike, you're probably talking about 600 quid I spent jumping on a super
right.
stock
On gear.
600.
Okay.
Yeah. And,
Okay.
you know, if I'd known what I'd known then, the big mistake is I should have kitted myself out more.
I mean, for clarity, my £1,000 it went on finance. it was added to the bike. I bought my trousers, I bought my boots and my gloves on finance. I mean,
God.
you know, it was 2010. It was like I was skint. You know, it was like, you know, I was scraping my pennies together to buy this really shit bike, which I thought was the mutts nuts.
Oh, God. I would spend thousands in this day and age. If
Would
I was
you?
to go and kit myself out, definitely. I mean, an RI lid's anywhere south of, what, 800 quid?
Woo!
I've got two helmets down the stairs that are £800 each when I bought
But
them.
what
yeah.
happens when you're out there in your skin and it's your first bike and everything? I mean,
Well-
you're a seasoned professional with money falling out of your
well, the
pockets.
one thing-
What about if you're out there and you're getting started and you need to get
Well,
good
this is
advice?
So
how do you
I can
approach
remember
it?
that because I literally, I mean, it's the worst that, please never ever do this, is ever take advice from a salesman. But
100%.
salesman in the shop,
Especially a triumph one.
the salesman in the shop
It
literally
was
said,
really helpful.
don't, and don't worry, Pete, put it on your finance.
We can just get whatever you want.
It's only £700 a month for 10 years.
You can afford it.
Still paying for it.
Oh, God.
The one piece of advice that they gave me, and I actually believe in it, and I'm sure you will too, is don't buy a second-hand helmet.
Okay, yeah.
Because
yeah.
you can't
Yeah.
justify and say whatever that's been.
No, don't.
And that's the one thing that
Yeah.
A lot of people do. A lot of
That's
people do buy second-hand gear, and I might buy a helmet, and I thought I don't like it. Doesn't suit me. I don't like it. I'm not using it. I'm not going out. And you sell it.
Maybe if you go to
Still
offer
not a bad
someone you
helmet.
know, if you're a mate and they said, look,
Yeah.
I bought it,
Listen,
don't
I've
like
looked
it.
after this.
I've not
Yeah,
used
yeah.
it, I would think about it. But
Personally, I would just buy
generally
new.
as a rule, don't buy a second-hand helmet, especially not off of eBay or something. That
Yeah,
would-
no, that is
that's
it's just
complete,
proper
that's
disaster.
complete
Like you say
madness.
though, I mean,
Yeah.
you know, 18 to 21-year-olds getting their CBT, going out there. I mean, they can't, fling thousands at safety gear. I've seen people riding around Edinburgh with trainers on. And
Seen them
it
wear
gives me the fear.
balaclavas a few times.
Oh,
Yeah,
don't
well,
go
we'll
there.
see that as well.
That'll be a
But
specific episode of
That's
Talk
a
Time.
whole other
It's not,
thing. That
it's not this
It's
week.
just so much importance, even for a pair of half-decent motorcycle boots that can save you, life-changing injuries that you can't even walk right.
What is it?
And
Just putting your leg down,
going straight back again
Yeah.
to the topic of this video, what do you wish you knew before you started riding? Is right. So I did buy all that gear, right, and I did spend all that money. I didn't fucking wear half of it.
Right.
It is bad for
Excuse
it.
the language, but I didn't.
Yeah.
I would go out sometimes with no gloves on.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
Just like, oh yeah, I'll be fine.
Yeah.
I had
crazy.
no real direction on what to do and not to do.
it's frightening, the amount of people that ride
know?
without safety gear. You lived in the south of France for a while.
Yeah.
I've been to France numerous times,
Yeah.
motorhoming, and people riding super bikes along beaches at 80, 90 mile an hour with shorts, t-shirt and flip-flops on. it's
just bonkers.
absolutely bonkers.
Says the man who didn't wear gloves.
But, it's just crazy.
Sometimes you just have to put out an annual regular sacrifice to the gods of motorcycling.
Yeah.
And trust that they are going to have your back when you cock it up completely, which is going to happen at some point.
For me, if I go to the garage just now, pull a bike out, jump on it, without the proper, I feel naked. I feel you
It
don't
just
feel
feels
right. It just feels
inherently
wrong.
wrong. Yeah.
It feels wrong. If you've not got leathers on or text, I mean, I'm a leather guy. Leather suits, one-piece suits.
Yeah, I think there's plenty there.
Just move on. Move on. Keep
Hopefully
going.
someone puts up a
Keep going.
picture of
Yeah.
someone in a leather gimp suit. That'd be great.
N-I-C-K, back up.
Didn't see you in Amsterdam a couple of years ago, did I?
I walked the other way.
Right, listen, I think we've probably whittled on for
Let's
long
work.
enough on
Really?
this one. Yeah, I think we're gonna call that one
I've
a
enjoyed
wrap.
this.
It's been fantastic.
Can we talk
isn't
about
it?
the pumpkin?
Yes.
Can we talk
Yeah,
about the
you
crocheted
can.
pumpkin?
That is
Phil,
from the
hold the
lovely...
Is that
crocheted
crocheted?
pumpkin. This is crocheted.
It's
Did he
crocheted.
make that?
Eve
Yes,
made this.
Eve made that.
Eve. Oh, there we go.
It's
Hold on.
fantastic,
I
isn't
am
it?
going to do this the justice it deserves.
Yes.
And I'm going to put it. Hold on. Look at that.
Absolute
That's
corker.
spectacular. Is that because Halloween's coming? Are we allowed to put a seasonal
Yeah, it's
reference
Halloween
in?
coming, guys, and
Right.
we'll have another one to accompany that.
Superb. That
No
is-
pressure, Eve.
I would
No
actually,
pressure.
I'd actually quite like a crocheted pumpkin now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool, eh?
Yeah.
A lot of detail in that.
Yeah, a lot of detail in that.
I feel like we should get her to crochet like a little biker man or something.
Do you think so?
We could do that, or a bike or something.
Effigies of each of us.
That would be
Three
quite cool.
arseholes.
That was easy to do. You just started with sitting with cake. We might decorate the studio coming up for Halloween as well. That'll be such fun.
Oh, yeah, that'll be interesting.
So anyway, listen, we'll wrap it up at that, but thank you all for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed our ridiculous stories of the blonde on the bike and keeping up with all his mates on his fast
I
bikes
went
and
to
buying
the
more bike gear on.
danger zone.
You definitely went to the danger zone. You're still living in that zone.
We genuinely want feedback, comments, things to talk about, don't
Yeah.
we? From people
Yeah,
out
we
there.
absolutely do.
We are actually looking for your input.
But nobody's going to watch this probably.
Whoever you are.
Yes, this other one viewer.
We're looking for your
Mr.
input.
Kipling,
Whoever
please
you
give
are.
us your feedback.
Please, Mr.
Hit the
Kipling,
like
send
button,
us.
hit the subscribe button,
Yeah.
and keep us going.
Yes,
Yeah.
please do.
Please do.
Keep the lights turned on because we can't last much longer unless someone actually shows us some love.
And who wouldn't
Grab
want to see
yourself.
Nick on this 550 Honda that I'm going to source
CDX
very, very
550.
soon?
Yeah, that would be fantastic.
We'll get it back.
I'll tell you what,
We'll get
I'll
that
start
bike.
watching this if it means I meet Julie Kate again. Just saying. You should never go back, but I'm fascinated.
However, she was older than you by how many years?
Fine. It'll be fine, I'm sure.
Yeah?
And if it's not, you can all laugh at me.
But sometimes it's not always great to go back
No,
to
it
something.
definitely shouldn't be. I should
So-
just maybe I've still got a picture somewhere.
Yes.
Right.
No, it
Episode
belongs to
3.
this episode.
yeah.
No, we're fine. I'm sure. I don't think she'd
I
like that.
really want
She
to see
might
the
not
pic.
like
I want
that.
to really see this
Is
as
that
well.
respectful?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I have no idea.
picture-
But anyway,
the picture
listen,
isn't-
we'll wrap
On
up
that
at that.
bombshell.
You can all picture Julie with her
Blonde
hair.
luscious blonde hair,
And the
getting
boots,
off her
don't forget the
CB5.
boots,
Oh yeah,
CDX
sorry.
550.
Love it, love
Yep.
it, love it. Well, listen, thank you all for watching, and
Thank
we'll
you.
see you again next week for episode number 3, and we'll come up with some suitable topic, probably
Yes,
10
indeed.
minutes
Reviews?
before
We've got another
start the,
review out there? Is there
We've got
another-
another review.
is there another
yes.
review? Is it
What
out
was the
there?
second was the KTM. we did?
Oh God, was
Yeah,
it?
Was it the
KTM.
KTM?
Oh,
KTM
1290
1290 Super Duke should
1290
now be
Super Duke.
live.
Good.
Ding! So yeah, go and check that one out and have a look at that. But otherwise, we'll see you next game week for more bike updates, more general chit chat, and more. Motorcycle Live, November 24th. We'll be there.
I'll be there.
Nice.
We'll be there too.
Are you?
We're all going.
Is this an accident? Are we meeting up?
We're meeting there.
All right, okay.
We just knew you were going, so we're
Okay.
going too.
Okay.
So if you are going to Motorcycle Live this year, the NEC in Birmingham, please go on the Thursday, meet us, let us know, send us a message on the in the YouTube, on the comments or whatever, and we'd love to meet some of you guys. So if you are there, please do let us know. We'll be there for the Thursday, we'll be there all day, we'll be available for beer at night, shenanigans. If Julie's there, then please,
Please, Julie, turn up.
let yourself be known.
If Mr. Kipling's there, please, no mini Battenberg, something else.
I'll take the Battenbergs. So if you're going to be at Motorcycle Live, let us know. But otherwise, we will see you next week for the next
Bye.
episode. Cheers, guys!
Bye.